Hello and welcome back, fellow snoozers. Today we're going to deep dive on two aquatic giants. First, we'll look at quite possibly the largest freshwater fish in the world, the giant stingray found in Southeast Asia. And then we'll take a look at the giant oceanic manta ray found in oceans all around the world. We'll get into details about each of them. We'll see what would happen if they fight. So let's watch to the end to see which one of these water titans prevails. Now feed on that like button and hit subscribe to see everything that Snooze has to offer. Fasten your seatbelt, snoozers. We're taking off for Cambodia first. The giant freshwater stingray. The giant freshwater stingray may be the largest freshwater fish on Earth. Though not much is known about them, no one is sure about just how many of them are left, the habitats that they prefer, or even if they venture into the ocean where their more commonly studied relatives reside. They are an ancient species of fish that have changed very little over millions of years. These enormous river dwellers have been reported to grow over 16 feet long, including their barbed tail, and to weigh as much as 1,300 pounds. It should be noted that these accounts are unverified because weighing these behemoths is a very awkward proposition. These estimates are mostly back-of-the-napkin math done by scientists that are trying to study them. They are typically brown or gray in color and blend in well in the rivers that they swim in Thailand, Cambodia, Malaysia, and Indonesia. They often bury themselves in sandy or silty river bottoms with only their eyes and spiracles, or gill openings, exposed. They hunt their prey, normally crabs and clams, by prowling along near the bottom of the river and locating the unfortunate crab by using sensors around their mouth that pick up the faint electrical field given off by all fish. This form of hunting by electrical sensitivity is very similar to the way that sharks and eels hunt. Although stingrays do not readily attack humans, they are one of the few megafishes that can pose a real danger to those who handle them. Each ray has a sharp barb on the base of its tail that can easily penetrate human skin and bone, much like a hunting arrow. The stinger can be as long as 15 inches and typically introduces toxins to the victim's wound. One scientist related that though he had never been penetrated by a stinger, he had brushed up against the barbs on occasion, and it's very painful, and the wounds caused almost always get infected. Not fun, I imagine. He also stressed that they are not aggressive at all and actually very inquisitive, and will tolerate close proximity to humans. This suggests that they possess a higher than average intelligence than the typical fish. The gentle giant of the Mekong Delta. The giant oceanic manta ray. Giant manta rays are the largest ray species in the world. These highly intelligent, highly threatened creatures have a wingspan of up to 29 feet from tip to tip and can weigh as much as 6,600 pounds. Once thought to be the same species, their coastal subspecies cousins are roughly half the size. While reef mantas live close to shore in the Indo-Pacific, oceanic mantas, which live in all the major warm, temperate, tropical, and subtropical oceans around the world, spend most of their lives far from land. Manta means blanket or cloak in Spanish, describing the look of the animal's large, flat, diamond-shaped bodies, which are characterized by triangular pectoral fins. Manta rays have two horn-shaped fins protruding from the front of their heads, which has also given them the nickname devilfish. Manta rays do not have a stinging barb on their tails, but rather a bulbous knob on the end of their tail. Without a stinger, the relatively harmless manta ray uses its size and speed as its main means of defense. Manta rays are filter feeders who dine on plankton and krill. Their mouths face forward, unlike stingrays whose mouths are ventral. They swim forward with their mouths open and filter their tiny prey through rows of tiny rakes called gill plates. They use different techniques while feeding, including herding a school of krill or plankton into a dense ball, creating a target-rich environment, then darting through it to gather a lot of food at once. They will also perform multiple somersaults within a ball of prey to continuously feed until they've had their fill. It's kind of like when you go to a house party and just do multiple laps around the buffet table. I feel you, manta ray. Manta rays have the largest brain-to-size ratio of all the cold-blooded fish. Studies have shown that manta rays can recognize themselves in a mirror and that they produce long-term memory mental maps of their environment, utilizing visual cues and smells. All of these traits are indicative of a high-level cognitive function. These giant, intelligent, graceful creatures are endangered due to overfishing for their meat, which is considered a delicacy, and for their gill plates that are used in Chinese medicine, for unsubstantiated purposes. The fight. A giant stingray has exited the Mekong River and wandered into the South China Sea, where currents have carried him out into deep water. Unsure of his surroundings, he makes for the seafloor and buries himself in the sand. A passing manta ray, feeding on a school of krill, passes directly above him and startles the giant stingray. The stingray bursts from beneath the sand and whips his long, barbed tail upward. His barbed stinger penetrates the manta's wing-like fin, driving clear through to the other side. The larger oceanic manta ray flexes his powerful fin and tears the barb back out, leaving a gaping and bloody wound. Blinded by pain, the manta ray musters all of his strength and puts as much distance as he can between the two titanic creatures. He makes his way to the surface. He may survive, or his blood in the water in his weakened state may attract sharks, but we have a winner! The gentle giant of the Mekong Delta, the giant freshwater stingray! Well, snoozers, the giant oceanic manta ray certainly had a size advantage, but he has no weapons. He's not even bringing a knife to a gunfight. He's bringing nothing to the fight but his size and speed. Is this how you saw this fight playing out? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. And be sure to stab that like button and hit subscribe to see everything that Snooze has to offer. Snooze subscribers are the best. Until next time, snoozers.